Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you guys about fitness and business. And I think this will help a lot of people out and people who want to be investors or are investors. So let's start with fitness. Now, this is a concept that I think illustrates the difference between short term and long term thinking. And most people are wired by nature to think very short term. The reason being that our evolutionary genetics has not caught up with the changes in technology and society, which are changing at such a rapid rate that they are beating mutation rates and so forth, so that we are still sort of wired towards life 10,000, 100,000 years ago, which is severely different from what it is now. And so, what I'm talking about here specifically is the fact that we now live almost double the amount of time that we lived 10,000 years ago due to advances in healthcare. Probably one of the biggest breakthroughs was actually something as simple as antibiotics. Um, and the reasons for that are much deeper than I understand them. But basically, they kill bacteria. Anyhow, we live up to 80 years if we're lucky, 90 years. And therefore, our lifespan is much longer. And so, long-term thinking for most of us, so a lot of people get unlucky and get killed at 20 years of age, but most of us live longer than we expect. And therefore, your strategy should be different from what your genetics naturally make you want to think. Short-term gains, short-term gains. Um, and therefore it's one of those counterintuitive things that if you grasp, you will be ahead of all your competition, who oftentimes just naturally subconsciously think very short term. Let's take fitness as an example. So for fitness, um, if you work really hard, and we're talking muscle gain, weightlifting in this instance, if you work really, really hard, and you do everything right, and you eat protein powder and do everything properly, if you're lucky, you can gain maybe 5 pounds in a year. 3 pounds is average. I think 1 pound is definitely doable. But that's the general range. And again, oftentimes genetics, if you're just luckier and you can naturally gain more muscle, that's what you can do. But you see a lot of people out there who are they don't understand this. And so when they walk into the gym and they look at themselves in the mirror after working very well, working out very, very well for a year, they see no gains because 3 to 5 pounds, or maybe just 1 pound, spread over your entire body, if you're working your full body, is not a lot. Even 3 pounds concentrated, if you only work like biceps, which is a bad thing to do, but only work biceps that whole year, doesn't look like a lot. And so they give up. They say, oh my goodness, I do all this work. And literally, I know someone who said this to me. I worked out for so long. I did all this stuff and nothing changed. And therefore, it's just my genetics. There's no way I can get any gains. When in reality, this is a long-term thing. And you might think this is so unfair, but it truly isn't. And I mean, first off, life sometimes isn't unfair. You just have to play by the standards. And people are like, oh, it's only fair if we gain 10 pounds, or in a year or a week or a month, we see ridiculous gains, 20 pounds in an entire year. And they don't really understand it, and they don't gauge it by pound measurements either. They just look at themselves in the mirror after a year, or maybe even just a week or a few days or 1 month of starting from scratch to working out, and they want too much too quickly. Same thing with losing weight, and they don't see any gains. For their perception of proper gains, it's something like probably the equivalent of 20 pounds or 10 pounds concentrated on your biceps or something like that. And that's not going to happen so quickly. But they don't see that, and they see no real difference at all, and they give up. And that lack of consistency is what separates the people who make it from the people who don't, in my opinion. And it makes sense from a longer lifespan point of view. If you have 20 to 30 to 50 years to work out and increase your gains, and obviously there will be plateaus, and obviously there are certain things you can do to break through those plateaus. But generally, and again, I feel like this goes beyond just weightlifting. It's stuff like your mile time, when you're running, if you're a track star and stuff like that. You'll hit plateaus, but you can break through them. And if you're looking at a 50-year or 20-year or 10-year or 30-year useful lifespan for weightlifting, I don't think there's it's that short a lifespan. I think it's at least 30 years. That's a hell of a lot of time to make massive gains. So in terms of that huge lifespan, if you're putting on 5-10 pounds, maybe not 10, maybe 5 pounds spread over your entire body, by the time you've passed just 20 years, that's over 100 pounds added to your body. You will be a completely different person. So in terms of just a 20-year lifespan, in terms of working out, you are guaranteed to create tremendous amounts of gains. And again, as you can probably tell, or you probably inferred, this goes on to wealth building as well, making money. But people fail to grasp this. They think too short term. But in reality, it seems completely fair from a long-term perspective. If you can buy into just 3 pounds per year, in 20 years, you will get those gains. But people are greedy. They're lazy. They're selfish. They don't want to put in that consistency of 20 years of work. They want the gains immediately. Like, how can you even do that when you can't even work out for a week without just giving up? So the motivation has to come from the right perspective. And you don't need to look like a super ripped bodybuilder by the age of 30. But I'm sure you're doing a lot worse than what you could do. A lot of people use this as an excuse to just quit completely, not even work out or do any exercise ever. Not on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, nothing. Which is a horrible thing to do. Okay, so now that we've covered that in a quick summary, I guess let's move on to making money. The same sort of thing applies in general from my perspective. I got a comment a while ago on one of my videos, and this man was talking about stock investing, and he was saying how he had achieved, or he wants to achieve 100% returns on his money in a couple months, and 70% returns in a couple days. And what this means is pretty much you want to double your money in a few months. And you can see how short-term that is, and how they don't really understand the truth behind the matter and how hard it is to make money. These people are saying, oh, I'm doing really well. I'm making 100% returns. I guarantee you, in the long run, if you're looking at the 1 year, 10 year, 20 year, 50 year horizon, you're not making 100% returns. You're probably making like 5%, 10% per year. The reason being because if you look at such a long time span, which is what a lot of people have, look at Warren Buffett. He's going to be 80 years old soon, I think, and he's around 80 or so. Charlie Munger is around like late 80s. They've had 50, 60 years to invest and make gains on their money, and their record, out of the thousands of investors, hundreds of thousands competing against him, their top record, they're the best in the field, has been like 20 to 30% per year. And that's all you need to achieve ridiculous wealth if you do the math with compound exponential growth with that money. Basically, if you just make 20% of your money and grow it at 20% on average every year, which is a hell of a task to do. Most people are not even half as smart as Warren Buffett's IQ. If you can do that just on 20% per year on very small cash, like $1,000, $10,000, and grow that at 20% per year. So the next year from $10,000, you would have $12,000, and that would be a gain of 20%. If you do that for just 50 years, okay, I hate to say just, but 50 years, you will have tremendous amounts of wealth, millions of dollars, millions and millions. And so for this man to think, oh, I'm doing 100%, 50% returns in a few months, I guarantee you that's not the truth. Once you factor in transaction costs, taxes, expenses, all the speculation you're doing and all the losses you're doing, in the long run, you're probably making like 5% on a year-to-year time frame. So these people, especially with stuff like stocks, people are really stupid. They're like, oh my goodness, I only double my money in a year. That's pretty damn good. And I guarantee you, in a 5 to 10 year span, you're probably not going to be able to even come close to doubling your money if you're looking at stocks. And if you can even do 10% to 20% return per year on the average, 50 years out, you will be rich guaranteed. And so, first off, that's a hell of a task. It's not as easy as you think. Not even as easy as you think. And I'm sure another cognitive bias is probably kicking in now. Your greed. You're probably thinking, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Let me look into this. And it's not that easy. And so I really do think that these people, they're very short-term thinkers, and they haven't really gone into a topic. And if you look at business returns over the 50-year average, 40-year, 30-year average, they are nothing near 100% or 200%. They're like 10%, 5%, stuff like that. And that is how you should look at things. And for most of you guys, life is a lot longer than you think. I just was at this conference where a lady was awarded for working 40 years for the same organization, which is ridiculous. If you have 40 years after whatever your childhood to work, at the very least. Okay, maybe not the very least, but that's a lot of time for you to do your stuff. So stop thinking in the weekly or monthly or yearly perspective and start thinking longer term. And again, this is some goddamn good advice that I don't think most people will get the chance to hear. So I hope this helped you. And again, I'm giving this away for free online for all you guys who are willing to listen. And I think it's one of those things where the people who choose not to are doing themselves a disservice and giving yourself an advantage. The other drawback, though, is I am giving my competition and everyone else free advice that could help them dramatically, which could potentially hurt me. But I don't think like that. I think there's plenty of wealth in the world and plenty of contribution that I can give to all you guys. So no matter what type of person you are, gamer, anime lover, YouTube lover, talk show lover, television lover, even if you're not even related to, you're not even thinking about fitness or wealth, I guarantee you can apply this to improving your life in some way, shape, or form. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, another example is happiness. You stop thinking about petty arguments and fights from the 1 year, 1 month, 1 week perspective, and thinking if this is your family and you have 40 or 50 years of a relationship ahead of you with this person, is that petty fight really going to matter? So if you like this video, leave it a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below on my YouTube channel. And it will let you know when my next video comes out. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.